You'll never be lonely again when you know you belong to yourself. This is something a little bit different than what I usually do. I got this inspiration when I was walking in Central Park today. So, a lot of you guys may or may not know I'm in New York City at the moment and I'm completely by myself. So, I just wanted to come explore the city and I knew a few people here, but I'm completely on my own the entire time. And today there was something that just, I don't know if it was like the sun or something. I was just walking down, I was looking at the water, and I just realized that I have never felt more at home than I did in that moment. And the realization came upon me because I felt like I truly belonged with myself and to myself. And this is the problem that I see in a lot of people, including myself. I've had this issue in the past, is we get lost in trying to belong in certain groups. We get lost in trying to fit in. We get lost in the hunger to get validation and to feel like, this person loves me or this person likes me or this person approves of me. That's on one side, and on the other side of the spectrum, you could also get lost when you're trying to stand up against a lot of things. You're trying to prove people wrong. You're trying to make it seem like you are different when you know you just need to be. And on both sides, people could get lost. And it is when we realize that really it doesn't matter because we all belong to ourselves. And this kind of reminds me of this quote. I'm going to completely butcher it because I'm just speaking from my heart right now, and I don't know what quote, if the quote is completely correct. So it's from Brene Brown. It came from her book, I believe. It's from her book. It's called Braving the Wilderness, which I read a little while ago and I loved it. And it talks about true belonging. So if you guys really want to go in deep there, you could definitely look up her book. But there was a quote that said that true belonging is understanding that you can be part of a group of a greater purpose and at the same time being having the courage to stand alone when you need to. And that's the truth, and that's what I believe in 100%. I love people and I know together we are better. We can all share each other's gifts. Really we could really help each other get ahead. We could support each other. We could see each other's blind spots. We could do lots and lots of things together. And it is amazing. And at the same time, is not feeling lonely. Lonely and alone are different things. I have no problems being alone, and but I think when we start to feel lonely, that's when issues start to happen. When we feel lonely, that's when we start to make irrational decisions. When we're lonely, so say for example, if you are single, right? And okay, so I'll give you a real example. So yesterday I was at a restaurant by myself. I was on a date with myself. I was having a really delicious meal and some wine. And this guy came up to me and he's like, well, do you want company? And what are you doing here? What it is that you do? And then he asked me, he's like, don't you feel lonely? I was like, no, absolutely not. I don't feel lonely at all. And he's like, well, it must be kind of lonely for you to be here by yourself and eating by yourself. Would you like some company? I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want your company, especially someone who thinks like that. The reality is there's nothing wrong with being alone at all. Right? It's when we start to feel lonely, that's when the issues start. That's when we start to scroll through social media and look at other people's lives, and other people's lives seem so much better than ours. You're like, oh wow, this person's on vacation, this person's having a child, this person's getting married, this person is getting engaged. Who cares, honestly? Because the beauty is, and this is what I realized a long time ago, is I will never be lonely because I have the most beautiful and the most important and the most loved person in my life with me all the time, which is me. And that's what I want to let all of you know, that you will never be lonely because You are the most important person to you. You are the person that is loved the most by you. And if that person's always with you, then how could you possibly be lonely? Okay. At this point, I'm going to go over the chat to see what you guys have got. And so we got Michael Furberger in the house, beautiful, and and we have Just at Life. What is Just at Life saying? I actually look forward to your videos. You're amazing. Thanks for everything. Aw, thank you, Just at Life. I have been all over the place, to be honest with you guys, because I've been traveling so much. But I am going to get back on schedule by not by tomorrow, by Friday, because Friday tomorrow I'm back. I'm flying back to Toronto on tomorrow, but I'm not going to get in until probably later on in the afternoon. So I'm not going to be able to do these live streams. But yeah, but I'm going to definitely do a video tomorrow. We got Stephen Harris. Stephen Harris is asking me, find your luggage yet? Yes, especially as a leader. It gets lonely, but we will all need a break. Some people are perfectly cool with being alone. Yeah, I'm perfect. I'm more than perfectly okay being alone. I love being alone. And no, they did not. I did not find my luggage. And meh, who cares? To be honest, it doesn't matter. Everything is replaceable. And here's the thing. I also, speaking of which, about material things. I was the kind of person that had a lot of material things. I worked in the fashion industry and I accumulated a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes as a result. And over the last couple of years, I moved a lot, especially in the last year. In the last year, I moved 3 times. And when you move 3 times, every time I moved, I condensed. And even then, I realized that I have way too many material things. Um, I don't know what it is. So after losing my luggage, I'm looking at the duffel bag right now in front of me. I only need a couple of pieces of clothing. I don't need a lot of things. Even the things that I packed, I actually didn't need it. So it's an interesting thing too, right? It's about, I'm talking about true belonging, and also feeling like you need things to validate yourself, or you need things to be comfortable. The reality is we just need a few necessities, and that's all we need, right? We got Bartik Burners in the house. If you feel lonely, then enjoy the company of the most amazing person, you. Yeah, exactly. And I think I realized that many years ago when I was, why do I sound so Southern? I sound very Southern. I'm Canadian. Sometimes I feel like I sound American. I think I was a teenager when I realized that that's when I started a lot of my personal development type stuff when I was a teenager, because I was trying to find myself. I also try to find myself in place in all the wrong places, which is not great. But I was experimenting, and yeah, I started reading books. I read The Alchemist, and then I also read Conversations with God, which is a really good book. My friend actually recommended it to me, and that's when I realized that if I needed to really love myself when I was a teenager, because I went through so much in my life leading up to that point, and I still did after my teenage years. Is I really needed to find the love within me, because, and that's the truth for all of us in general. If we don't love who we are the person that we carry everywhere we go. There's no escaping yourself at all. At all. You are everywhere you go. You are going to spend the most time with yourself. Might as well start loving yourself completely and wholeheartedly, and that's the reality of it. And I don't know how else to put it. It wasn't until I was completely um, in love with myself and loving myself is when I really found peace in my life. And it's an ongoing process. It's a practice. It's a practice that I get into every single day. Sometimes I don't honor it. Sometimes I beat myself up because I'm achievement oriented and I'm very driven. So when my results are not yielding the best that it can, I have a tendency of kind of shitting on myself. And that's not the best thing to do. Anyway, All right, guys. I was feeling really inspired, and I wanted to come on here and just to go and share with you guys. And yeah, it was such an amazing feeling when I realized that. I was like, I will never be lonely again because I belong with myself and to myself, and I don't really belong to anybody or anything, but I belong everywhere. And I think that was a Maya Angelou quote as well, which is also in Brene Brown's book. Anyway, if you guys don't know who Brene Brown is, I suggest you start to get to know her right away. Brene Brown, without her realizing this, I sent her several emails. She's not replied yet, but I have sent her several emails saying that how she has profoundly changed my life. That woman has done incredible things. And when I was going through the roughest time in my life, because I struggled with perfectionism and I was really struggling to the point that, I had a lot of thoughts of ending everything, and that's when I picked up her book, Gifts of Imperfection, and it profoundly changed my life. And I've read every single book of hers since then. And check her out; she is an incredible woman. All right, guys, I am going to take off. Have an amazing night. I am probably going to watch something funny on Netflix and give myself a bit of a break. And then I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to be back to T dot. For you guys who don't know, it's Toronto. All right. Bye bye, guys. Have an amazing night. Bye bye.